you on the show. We now move over to the Indo-Pacific, where Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba will announce his resignation by the end of next month, according to the Japanese media. This follows a bruising election defeat that cost Ishiba's administration its upper house majority. The reports come after Ishiba and US President Donald Trump unveiled a trade deal that lowers tariffs on imports of Japanese autos and spares, Tokyo punishing new levies on other goods. When questioned about whether the tariff deal with Washington might impact his decision to remain in office, the Japanese Prime Minister said that he would need to scrutinize the outcome of the agreement before commenting. Meanwhile, according to reports, Ishiba is expected to meet the ruling party heavyweights later for discussions on the election outcome. We're now joined by Stephen Nagy, who's a professor at the International Christian University. He joins us live from Budapest. Stephen, thank you very much for joining us. Stephen, do you think these are obviously reports, however, they're highly speculated in Japan. I was wondering if you could analyse Ishiba's current position for us. He obviously had an election, an upper house election that wasn't very successful. Do you think that this trade deal here, which Donald Trump has described as the greatest ever, was Ishiba's final gift to the Japanese people?
Thanks very much for having me. I'm not sure if it's a final gift to the Japanese people or a final curse because of Prime Minister Ishiba has not been a successful prime minister. You mentioned his loss at the upper house election, but we should not forget he also lost in the lower house. Under his leadership, Japan has become weaker. The leading Liberal Democratic Party has become unable to lead both in terms of the US policy as well as China policy. And in this sense, Japan is not in a better position today. Where the trade deal will go is an open question. We think that they've agreed upon a framework of where they're going to go in terms of the final details of the trade agreement, but this framework will probably be negotiated out over the next few months as more details are agreed upon between the two parties. Again, we don't know if this will be a gift to the Japanese or a curse, but 50% tariffs on Japanese products is still a huge tariff and will slow Japanese growth in an economy that's already experienced almost 3 decades of economic stagnation.
Stephen, do you think the Ishiba had a choice in this? Obviously, we had this tariff deadline coming up. Deals had to be made. There was speculation about it. And then, of course, the loss in this upper house election. Where was Ishiba standing in regards to the people of Japan and the grasp he had over the country?
He didn't have a grasp. Again, he lost the lower house election, the upper house election. Most of us thought that this would be an overwhelming loss for the LDP, and it was. Opposition parties such as the Sansei-to came forward. They won 17 seats, really pushing the ruling party into a minority status, not able to pass anything without working with coalition partners. And I think for many Japanese, they don't really see a difference between Prime Minister Ishiba and Prime Minister whoever, in the sense that the country continues to work, continues to function, but at the same time, it doesn't seem that any political leader can deal with the challenges that Japan faces. We also can understand that the Japan-US alliance is something that the Japanese prioritize, and I think that they would have put this front and center in their calculation in the trade negotiation deals, because that alliance is the only security partnership that Japan has. It is meant to deal with the severe challenges that Japan faces in its backyard, whether it's the ICBM testing from nuclear North Korea that continues to expand its nuclear weapons, China, which has assertive behavior in the East China Sea, across the Taiwan Strait and the South China Sea, and it's also expanding its nuclear stockpile, and of course increasing collaboration, not only between Russia and China, but also North Korea and China. Japan lives in a very tough neighborhood, and no matter what the trade deal would have been, Japan would have continued to prioritize that Japan-US alliance because its neighborhood is a tough one.
Yes, Stephen Nagy, you are staying with us to discuss further developments. The United States announced its decision